video games. And then when they would come to my house to play video games, they would see my report card. And when they saw my report card, they would know my secret, right? Because I had this secret because of my culture, because it wasn't celebrated in my culture. They would see my report card and they would say things like, this fool's stupid. He made all A's. So they basically, exactly, right? She's thinking about it. That don't make sense, right? Like, this fool's stupid. He made all A's. They clown me in all essence for making good grades. It's not deep, that's just my reality. Bullying, though it's a trend, though October, we're nearing the end of anti-bullying prevention month and whatnot, like bullying has been around. People have been getting clowned for reasons for forever. Often when I'm talking to students, because I talk to students all across the country, right? You wouldn't believe how hard it is for a short kid to believe that tall people get bullied. Like they just couldn't believe that. A poor kid can't believe that a rich kid gets bullied for being rich. A kid with no parents can't believe somebody gets clowned and made fun of because they have two parents. Right? We all get picked on for some reason. We can't change that, but we can change how people interact and behave, right? So anyway, but me, I got clowned for making good grades. When I got arrested the first time, I was 17 years old. I was in a 5A high school in Houston. Everybody saw me get handcuffed. They saw me go to jail. I came back to school 3 days later. When I came back to school, nobody made fun of me. You know what they did? They congratulated me. They showed me love. So think about it. When I made good grades, what did people do? They clowned me. When I got arrested, what did people do? They showed me love. And it's not deep. A lot of people miss it though, right? And 7 billion plus people on the planet, and we all want love. So what I figured out at 17 was accidentally was like, oh, I get it. I know what to do to get love. Like I could become the best at being the worst. See, that's a cultural issue though. That's why like our world is looking crazy like it is now, and people miss it because it's a cultural issue. Like that's what I respect most about circles is the power to influence the culture. The way that you can create dialogue and create conversations, not only empathy but understanding, because that's what's lack. That's where the lack is. That's where prejudice comes from, right? Like you can study, when you break down words, the word prejudice, the prefix is pre-pre, it means before, right? So prejudge, prejudice, prejudge. So prejudice only really means, it's not a racist thing, it's like to prejudge. So I prejudge you before I know you, and I assume I know you. And when people don't talk and you prejudge, you actually start to believe your own thoughts. And there's nobody to tell you sound stupid. Well, that's wrong, that's mean, like, dang, that's dumb, that makes no sense. That's ignorant. Because you just prejudge and you think you believe what you believe. And when you start to look at society, that's what's going on. And then when you factor in social media, and it's like, cool, I can do whatever I want to do, and it's just me and my phone, and that's my thought, and I put it out there, and that's it. There's just so much prejudice. But again, where circles come in, our restorative justice, the ability to restore humanity and community, more so community, right? That's when you factor in the circles. All right, so let me do this now. Somebody give me a word. When I say, like, just be any word, random word, somebody give me a word.
Trust.
Trust? All right. I have the ability to remember 5 words, so I'm going to go for 5. So that's one word.
Love.
Love? It's a powerful word. All right, we have trust. We have love. Oh, no, I'm good. In the back, like, because the further, so I'll tell you, if you don't want to get picked, don't make eye contact with me. Or don't be obvious that you don't want to be picked. Like, try to sit in the back. Like, everybody turn around and look at that dude right back there.
Yeah.
All right. So, accept it. Then come forward then, because right now, so. All right. You're accepted. This is a safe place. All right. Trust, love, acceptance. Somebody from this side.
Or worthy.
Worthy? That's powerful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get somebody to jot this down because I have a question to ask. Can you write this down for me, Mr. Walker? All right, so we have, oh, you already got it? Okay, cool. So this is what I don't like. I feel like I'm flying blind right now. This is totally out of order for me. I don't just get up and talk to rooms. Like, well, actually, I get up and talk to rooms all the time. But I know who I'm talking to. And I'm a communicator. And I challenge you, if you're a communicator, who cares what you... It doesn't count as communication if people don't hear you. That's what people miss. This is why I do what I do. Because when I went to the penitentiary, I think I told you my story. I told you my story in the beginning. when I went to the penitentiary, I realized, I had an epiphany. Like, oh, this is what Coach Johnson meant. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what Assistant Principal Mendez meant. This is what Uncle Dale was talking about. See, a lot of people told me the problem was they didn't speak my language.
Right.
And it doesn't count if people don't understand you. Right now, so short on time, but I want to share this because y'all are such an awesome group of people, and you can go back and you can communicate this. So when I was sitting in the penitentiary, I realized that a lot of people talked at me, but they hadn't communicated to me. You actually care. So even my job now, I get paid a bunch of money to go get in front of people and talk and communicate, right? But I recognize for me, it only counts if you actually hear what I'm saying. Now, you might not do it, that's fine, but at least you heard it. What sucks is when people don't even hear. For example, I got to tell this example real quick. Imagine in China, right? Like, I don't speak Chinese. Okay, I don't speak Russian either. I don't speak any language except a little bit of Spanish. All right. So, somebody pick a country, quick, pick a country, any country. Japan, okay, cool. So in Japan, say there's a conference. And in Japan, there's a room full of people. And on the third floor of this conference, there's a room full of Japanese people, right? But there's an American there because we're everywhere. So there's a fire. Universal law, there's a fire. You can't take the elevator. So the person on the fourth floor is exiting the building. He goes down the stairs. He sees a room full of people on the third floor, so he pokes his head in the door. And he says, run, the building's on fire. As he exits the building. He leaves the building, catches the cab, goes back to his hotel, turns on the TV. TV later that day says, today 25 people died in the burning building. Dude's like, oh snap, that's right where I was at. That's those people. They so stupid. I told them run. Well, why didn't they run? So it didn't really matter that he said, that he went out of the way, that he was so earnest, that he was so passionate, he was so sincere, that he wasn't an effective communicator. You know what they probably saw? Everybody in unison. They saw a crazy American, like, wow, there you go. Probably said something like Trump. And it was bad communication. That's how it is when we reach out to our young people, even our communities, especially when you get educated. Because then you think, like, this is obvious, especially when you hang around the same like-minded people. And you can talk. I love it. I sit on so many boards and operate with so many different groups. And I'm invited to be the community advocate for different organizations. And I'll get around other professionals. And if it's the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services or some other group, when I'm in a room and it's like this, they start to talking and they'll be like, cool, so we're going to get the CIA to connect with the DEA to talk to the LCSW and work with the PhD up at UTSA, who can then collaborate with UTA, and then maybe they can both go down to Austin for UT. And they just be talking like, cool, you got it? And the next point I'm like, okay, stop. We talked the DEA, what DEA? Like, and then they're like, oh no. See, they just assume that I understand all those acronyms. Because they're speaking amongst each other, a community, and they've forgotten that other people don't know what that means. So they communicate importantly. But at least they know their weakness. That's why they've invited me. That's why they've invited the community liaison. I share this because really I was going to ask the question. I like to know what you do. Short version, like, who is in this room, right? Because that's where I'm flying blind. I don't know if I'm talking to community leaders, teachers, principals, administrators, nonprofit, executive directors, whatever it is. So who are you? Who are you?
School counselor.
School counselor.
A teacher and a poet.
Love it.
I'm school counselor.
School counselor.
Teacher.
Teacher. I'm a trainer with NEDRP.
Teacher. Administrator of after school programs.
Blue hair don't care.
Trainer with NEDRP.
Teacher.
Owner. We had a conversation already. She got boss swag. I know you and I. And I love it. So speaking to her from that perspective, that empathy, that understanding to be able to communicate. I heard. I won't go into it. I'll do a song so now I know who everyone is. We have 4 words? We have acceptance, trust. What else?
Love.
worthy. All right, somebody give me a big word like
Communication.
Oh.
I'll take both of those. We got communication and reciprocity. Who said reciprocity? All right.
Somebody listen to Lauren Hill.
I like it. Reciprocity, communication, love, trust, worthy,
Acceptance.
acceptance. All right, cool. One of the people often ask, "Oh, Saul Paul, what's one of the real quick? What's one of the greatest things that you're most proud of that you've done professionally? Like, who can share that off the top of their head? Like like it's fresh. What you're proud of that you've accomplished professionally?
I gained a profession, which gave me access.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I was teaching the year last year in my campus.
Somebody from this side?
I'll go. I was teaching.
Hold on, if you do it, we got no diversity. You in the shadows, I can't tell you look black. Are you black? Yeah.
Somebody else took me.
I know I can't see you though because you're in the shadows.
lights,
It's cool.
yeah.
It's all good. We can keep on. Yes? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. How about you?
Yes.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay. So check this out. There might be something cultural there because I just randomly asked a room full of people to share a professional highlight, and only black people were brave enough to share. Giggle, truth. Yeah. And then also you have to factor in that there are teachers involved because like you are the salt of the earth, and nonetheless you do the most, but get celebrated the least. I'm just saying when it was an opportunity, now I got a full teeth. I love my job. All right. Go ahead and tell me.
Oh, I was just gonna say.